as you all know, the hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. Another name for it is high blood pressure, and hypertension is simply, there are two ways that we measure it. It is called the diastolic and the systolic.
Systolic.
Yes. So it is the force, that is the pressure that is exerted on the vessel of the wall. For example, we all have pumping machine in the house, and we are all aware that from the heart is where blood pumps to other organs of the body. From the heart, that is where the blood pumps to our brain, our liver, our kidney and all that. So imagine that there's a human being that blood is not pumping to the right channel of the body. There is serious trouble if that happens, and eventually the person may end up dying at the end of the day. So just like we have pumping machine in the house, when I've said those of us that use a well as pumping machine, a well and a bowl, when we put the pipe inside the pumping machine, there are sometimes that you will hear something like, oh, there is no water because the force that the water is going to come out is not strong enough. So same thing goes to our heart. So the systolic is the higher reading in the blood pressure, and it is when the ventricles in the heart, when they contract and they push blood out. When they contract, like it has to expand a bit, and they push blood out to other organs of the body, while the diastolic is the lower reading, and it is when the heart has finished pumping the blood out, and it is returning to its former self, that is, it is relaxing. So systolic is when it is contracting and pushing blood out, and diastolic is when it is relaxing and the blood has been pushed out already. So for a normal blood pressure reading, some people will say it is 120, some will say it is 130, some will even say 140 is normal. But the fact remains that according to the standard, a normal high blood pressure should be 130 mmHg. The is for the millimeters, while the Hg is for the mercury, millimeters mercury. So it's supposed to be 130/80. That is the normal blood pressure. That is what the normal blood pressure should be. So now, what are the causes of hypertension? As you all know, they call hypertension a silent killer, simply because when you have it, it doesn't show any symptom. I hope you are following. Hello, can anyone hear me? Are we following? I hope I'm not speaking.
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. We are following.
Go ahead. You're following.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we all know that they call hypertension a silent killer. This is so because it doesn't give you any symptom. It doesn't give you any symptom, and even when the symptom comes, it's going to be very late. Like that is it's already in the advanced stage. Like maybe the blood pressure is already entering 180, 190. In fact, where we went for today, we saw people that their blood pressure were above 200. 200, and they were looking so agile, they were looking ill and healthy. You wouldn't know anything was wrong with them. And that person needs the help. During the process of consultation, when we're asking them, okay, are you seeing any symptoms? Are you seeing this? Then some of them opened up. Okay, they've been feeling headache for some time now. They've been having insomnia. They were not able to sleep and what have you. So these symptoms, some of them even ignored it. Like we literally see somebody that was 220 today, some were 230, and they were not even bothered about it. Like, okay, I'm fine. So that is the way hypertension is. And at the end of the day, such people may just collapse, and then you will find that the next minute they've entered cardiac arrest, stroke, heart disease, heart attack, and what have you. And in fact, some people, it might even lead to death. Like, there are some stories that we hear that, oh, this person just collapsed and died. especially the bedroom one. That one is very, very common, where we just say that, oh, this person just collapsed in the bedroom. The person was having their bait, the person collapsed and the person just died. So there are several causes of hypertension. It could be obesity, it could be stress causes hypertension too. Now let's look at it from this angle. Now, when you are going through stress, like there's a reason for the blood to pump heart. I'm sorry, there's a reason for the heart to pump more blood, because you are using up you are using up energy, like you are doing something that is very tasking. So in this way, the heart has to pump out more blood. The contraction has to be more. So that is why you see most people that go through stress, like most pressure reading is always high, because their body will convert it into energy too. It might be caused by stress, it might be caused by obesity, then drugs, especially tobacco. It can be caused by tobacco. Somebody that smokes tobacco a lot, that is smokers. Then also for pregnant women, it might also be pregnancy induced. Then also people that take birth control pills, people that take birth control pills, people that are physically inactive, that is, there is no form of exercise or whatsoever, people that take diet that is high in fatty foods or too much salt, then people that drink excessively. Then also it is normal for people over the age of 35, or let's say elderly people, to have high, like at their age it is normal. So elderly people are at more risk of having high blood pressure. Then it is also common to some particular race, African Americans especially. It is more common to them, like it is also racial affiliated. Then so if also a member of the family has an history of high blood pressure, then it's not really genetic, but it can also be if somebody has an history of high blood pressure in the family. Then also we have what we call the primary cause and the secondary cause. The primary cause are the primary causes are okay. They were not caused by any. Okay. Sorry, please. Okay, so we have. So now we'll be going through some myths about hypertension. So 140/90 mmHg. That is not true. High blood pressure. The normal reading, the standard reading is 130. The systolic is 130, while the diastolic is 80 for an adult. Is 130/80. Then people will say signs of high blood pressure are obvious. That are no, like we tell some people now, like people we met today, some of them were saying nkoko oshemi in Yoruba, nkoko oshemi, I'm hale and healthy, and their blood pressure were reading 220, 230, and they were saying nothing was wrong with them. Now such a person could just slump and then just die, and then people will say, okay, he fought with somebody last week, it is the witchcraft, it is the village people that are doing them or something like that. So people will tell you that, oh, because I'm ill and healthy, then nothing is wrong with me. That is not true. High blood pressure has no symptoms. The headache that some people see, the headache, the dizziness and all of that, the insomnia, is when it is at the peak, when it is worse, when it is chronic. That is when these symptoms come in. Then some people would also say, as long as I don't add too much salt to my food, I can eat what I want. That is not true. We know that salt is one of the major causes of high blood pressure. But salt is not only the salt that we add to our food. We eat foods like bread, poultry products, meat dishes, pizza, cheese, snacks, potato chips, and all of this. Now, most of this food have salt added to them. So even if you are not adding salt to your own diet, to the food that you cook in your house, still but you eat most of this food outside, then you are still at risk of having high blood pressure. So some people will say that drinking coffee can raise the blood pressure. That is not true. Drinking coffee cannot raise the blood pressure. Drinking coffee cannot raise the blood pressure. According to research, it cannot raise your blood pressure. Alcohol has been found to raise your blood pressure. Drinking coffee cannot raise the blood pressure. Then some people will say high blood pressure, they meet 5. Some people say high blood pressure is more common in men. That is not true. It depends on age. In fact, most of the people that we saw today were female, and they had it the most. So it doesn't have to do with any gender. It is not more common in men. It depends on age. As long as you are above the age of 50, you stand the risk of developing high blood pressure, even if you don't have it before. And for women, after menopause, they are at risk of increased high blood pressure, and it can even be higher than in men. So like I said earlier on, the risk of high blood pressure is not the same for people of all races. It is different. From previous studies, black adults have been at an increased risk of developing high blood pressure. Then some people will tell you that, oh, I'm young, I don't need to worry about about my blood pressure. That's not true. It doesn't only affect older people. Especially right now, that one of the major causes that we have right now is the stress. And young people they are even the one that are going through the stress, that are even going through more stress. So right now, it's in fact, it is safe to say that we have high blood pressure, or lower blood pressure, anyone, among youths. Like, it is very, very common now among youths, simply because of the stress that they go through. Then also, our lifestyle can expose us to high blood pressure. Then some people will tell you that, oh, I'm already on blood pressure medication, so I don't have to exercise or watch what I eat. That is not true. Even if you are on medication, you still need to watch what you eat. You need to stop smoking. You need to anything that's going to trigger it, you need to, such as smoking, drinking, you need to stay away from them at that moment. Then okay, like majority of the people that we saw today, there were people that at one point or the other, some, let's say 2 years, 3 years ago, they had a history of hypertension. So most of them just took the drug one time. In fact, we saw somebody that was above 230, and she was like, she knows that she has been to the hospital and they've given her drug. So after she was supposed to go back for her appointment on the 7th of this month. Today is 17th. Now, she didn't go back to her appointment, and then when we checked the blood pressure again today, it was still 220, 230. And the person was claiming that she has finished using the drugs. And we're like, even if you have finished using, you should have to go back for a checkup. Just because you took the medication and the thing came down temporarily doesn't mean you should not continue taking the medication. High blood pressure is not something that you check just once. It's not like HIV/AIDS that you check maybe once in a year, once in 6 months, once in 2 years. It's something that you do regularly. You do not stop. Just like the way we eat regularly, we drink water regularly, we have to continue checking our high blood pressure. We have to continue monitoring our high blood pressure all the time. So high blood pressure is a lifelong condition, and medications do not cure it. So if you stop taking your medications, then the blood pressure may rise again. So it's something we need to do always. So how can we prevent high blood pressure? By staying away from risk factors that could trigger it, such as high salt intake, fatty foods, inactive lifestyle. If you are the type that maybe you work from home, you sit down on a laptop from morning till evening. You should try to do exercise every once in a while, even if not every day, at least 3 times in a week is okay. Then if you are the type that goes through stress, you should learn to manage your stress. You should learn to manage stress so that it will not predispose you to high blood pressure. And you should stay away from alcohol, from tobacco, from junk foods and all of that. Then also, yeah, we should also reduce our salt intake. And yes, and we should eat more fruits and vegetables and less of fatty foods. Then also, for obesity can also be, it is also one of the risk factors. It could prone one to having high blood pressure. So we should also, I know most of us, as simple as it is, as simple as even I myself that is speaking. I remember sometimes last year I was just like, oh, okay, let me just go check my BMI. You know, BMI is your height and your weight, your combination of your height and your weight. Then you calculate it. I know there's a particular, for example, for your height, there's a particular height. As we are all adults now, our height cannot change, but the only thing that can change is our weight. So we should learn to know, okay, for this height, okay, I'm 5 feet, I'm 6 feet, I'm this, I'm that. So you should be able to calculate, okay, at what weight would you be that your BMI is going to be overweight, obese, or morbid obese. We should learn to calculate this. So once you just check your weight, and then you notice that, okay, I'm 50 kg, I'm 60 kg, and you know that 60 kg is already contradicting your height, especially people that are very short like me. So then you should know that, oh, you should start doing something about it. So aside from checking our blood pressure regularly, our BMI is also something that we should check regularly, like regularly. Our weight, like we should learn to check our weight and know, like for me now, I have let me say I have an indicator. Like, okay, I know once I go above this range in my weight, then I need to watch out because I'm heading to overweight. Once I cross that range that I've set for myself, and now I'm going to overweight. So this is something we should also do. This is something we should also do. We should learn to check um our BMI regularly, because it can also predispose us to having high blood pressure. So I think that's all I have for today. So if you have any questions, please let's ask. You can chat, you can write your question in the chat box. If you have any question, please write them in the chat box. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can we all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Timothy.
All right. Thank you very much. So I ought to have come on board since, but network logged me out. Yes. Firstly, I want to appreciate every one of us that joined the call, and I believe our presenter, who also doubles as the moderator, she has given the reason why our guest speaker couldn't make it to this. today is what we are celebrating. Trying to organize a webinar about something, and it's not something that is for victim or become have high blood pressure, and that's the reason why we need to put so many things in place to make sure that BP are in shape. Okay, some questions have started coming in, and Mudupe, will you take them now? Hello, Mudupe. Okay.
Hello. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So the question, what is the normal blood pressure? Well, the normal blood pressure is 130. I mentioned this earlier. It is 130. That's the systolic. The higher reading is 130, while the lower reading, the diastolic, while the lower reading is hello.
Yes, go ahead. We're hearing you.
Okay, thank you. So I've
Please, can
mentioned
I
that.
add a little?
Okay, hello.
Yes, can I say something about pertaining what you just said now?
Okay, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, you said the normal, you said the normal blood pressure is 130/80.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know. I stand to be corrected. I suggest that a normal blood pressure is less than 120/80. There's what is called first stage of blood pressure. When you start noticing it, that should be at 130/80. But I don't know. I stand to be corrected. But
Well,
a normal blood pressure scientifically approved to me is 120/80.
well, yes, it varies. It varies. Some people will tell you 120/80, but also 130. I guess you are right. At 130, the person should become wary. Like, okay, this thing is going up. But
Exactly. That is the first stage.
yes, it is still kind of normal. Like, it is not overboard yet. But yes, even it is from 100, even not even 120, 100, 110, 120 is still okay. Above 100 is still okay. But some people will tell you the normal is 120, some people will tell you 130. So, but we can still peg it at 130. But it is true, yes. You should still be wary when it is 130. So yeah, we can say 128, but
yes, 120 less, because at 130, that's the first stage. Then the second stage is 140/90.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think we have any other questions again. In case there is, so please let's make use of the chat box to ask the question. And there's another question that talks about the range. That talks about the range, right? There's another question here. Is elevated blood pressure is the same as high blood pressure?
No, they are.
I believe from the word elevated and okay.
Hello.
They are not the
Okay,
same,
elevated blood
right?
pressure, same as high blood pressure. Yes, when your blood pressure is high, is elevated. Yes, it means it is slightly above normal.
All right. So thank you for spicing it up. Do we have any other question? Okay. And another question is here. Does excessive weight gain causes high blood pressure? And if it does, why? Why?
Hello?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you.
Hello, okay. Can you hear me? So the
Yes.
question again, please. I'm sorry, my network just okay. Does excessive weight gain cause high blood pressure? And if it does, why? Okay, remember I guess it's because it came late. I mentioned it earlier that when you are going through stress, that your body has to produce insulin and all of that. So your body has to pump blood faster. So in the process of doing this, I explained the systolic and the diastolic. The systolic is the higher reading, and it is when the blood vessels, the blood and the ventricles, when they contract and they push blood out of the heart to other organs. So same thing happens when you are overweight. Your heart has to work harder to pump blood to every part of your body. Imagine somebody that is just weighing, let's say, 50 kg, and somebody that is weighing 150 kg. Now the level at which the heart is going to pump blood with the person that is weighing 50 kg and another 150 is going to be different. So let's say it takes so that your body is going to that the heart is going
Hello?
to need to pump more, that work twice as fast in the person that weighs 150 kg. So it's as simple as that. So yes, it can contribute to high blood pressure. Excessive weight gain can contribute to high blood pressure.
Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification. Is there any other question? Is there another
Please, can I
question?
can I add a little thing to what she said?
Yes, please do.
Yes. A little thing too. She's very correct. She's good. The thing I want to add up is, sometimes when you obese, you have more fats in the body system, and when you have more fats in the system, the blood finds it difficult to pass through and go to other parts of the body, and it will require more effort from the heart to pump more. So that is why when it pumps more, the pressure increases because of what? Because there are fats engulfing the heart and other parts of the body because of the obesity.
Thank you for that, Mr. Godwin. That's very correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do we still have another question? So I'm looking through the chat box if there is any. All right. I believe there is none. And first and first, we really want to apologize for the technical hitch that happened at the beginning of this webinar. And we want to appreciate those that joined and left and those that wait till the end of this webinar. And this is we use this one like we use it to start our health webinar series. And due to the fact that we are commemorating World Hypertension Day, so that's why we call it episode 1. And we try to narrow down the topic to the focus of what is happening around the globe today. So which means henceforth, we're going to be considering some other factors as far as hypertension is concerned, and our second focus under the 8th pillar, which is diabetes. So, and we'll be bringing different people around the world to come and talk and to share their experience, to shed more light as far as some hidden things that we don't know about this ailment. So thank you very much, guys, for coming around. Your presence, your commitment really means a lot to us. And like I said, and we are back on track. and that henceforth we're going to be gaining more momentum to make our impact known in the global space, as far as by providing hope for everybody with the hope from us today. So thank you very much for coming, and guys, I really, really, really appreciate it. Bye.